The single biggest thing that I'm missing in my life right now is the idea of pushing past the most uncomfortable steps. It's the idea of pushing past the most uncomfortable steps and pushing past the boring things in life. This is by far my biggest bottleneck. I was just on a call with my friend, one of my good friends, and we were saying how like things are so simple. Discipline is so simple. Working achieving your goals is so simple, right? It's so simple. Like all I need to do is come on this camera and speak, right? I need to just speak on this camera, be as authentic as possible, share my journey with you guys, and just show, just share something that you guys can resonate with, right? Like I'm sure there's other people out there that are trying to do the same thing as me, right? I'm sure there's other people out there that are also trying to achieve their best self, that are also trying to become disciplined and to achieve them, like achieve results in life, you know? But like I was trying to like overcomplicate so many things, and this would happen a lot when I would be making videos. I would be making videos, and then 1 to 2 weeks later, I would just end up quitting it, or I would be overthinking, and I would be like, oh wait, it's not working out for me. And I'm like, when was the last time that I put my head down for 3 months doing the same boring exact reps, doing the same thing in content? When was the last time I ever did that? The answer is never. I never just did the most boring things 3 months. Like, just, what I'm trying to say? Just doing the boring actions for 3 months straight. Never did it in my life. 2 weeks later, I would be thinking again. 2 weeks later, I'd be thinking again. 2 weeks later, I would be thinking again. And I realized that's the issue. I learned something recently, which is like, we all have a bar of success. We all have, like, imagine this is the bar, right? And imagine your actions, it's like this thing that's gonna, it's gonna hit the bar, okay? So what ends up happening is you're doing the actions, we're doing the actions, and then it's like we're not hitting the bar close enough, right? The more you can go past the bar, that's when you've hit like the success, if that makes sense. Then that's when you get the results. But what I did, and I'm sure what many people online do as well, is like we do it, we do it, we do it, and then it gets hard, and then we go back down. We try again, it gets hard, we go back down. We go a little bit closer, it goes back down. And you know what I'm trying to say? It's like, I gave this example to my friend. It's like when you're swimming. Imagine you're underwater right now, and when you look up, obviously you can see the sun, and you're trying to swim up. You're trying to swim up. You're underwater. You're gonna die. You're swimming up. You're swimming up. You're swimming up. But then it's so hard. It's so much friction. You're swimming. You're swimming. You're swimming. It's so much friction. You just can't keep going. Can't keep going. And then it becomes so hard that you just give up, and you freaking drown. You try again, you give up. The moment it becomes hard, the moment there's a friction when you're swimming up, you have to keep swimming so you can finally reach out of the water, and you can finally put your head out of the water, and you've survived. I overcomplicate so many things in my day. So many things. The only thing that's not overcomplicated for me is the gym. The only thing in my self-development that's not overcomplicated is the gym. That's the only place where I have a perfect structure, not perfect, but very good structure. I know what to do. I never overthink the gym, which is probably why I'm getting good results in the gym. Like, because in my opinion, like, the gym is so quantifiable, it's so measurable, right? It's like you can count your reps, you can count your failures, you can, like, it's very quantifiable, right? With content, I was making it not quantifiable. But this goes to show how simple discipline is, how simple most things in life are. I was thinking this in a way where it can apply to like every single situation. This concept of simplicity, it can apply to every single situation. This could apply the same thing with someone right now who's trying to quit a bad habit. It could apply to you if you're going through that. It can apply to you if you're trying to hit the gym. If you're trying to get closer, to like being more consistent in the gym. If you're trying to become consistent in the gym, this can apply to the same thing. And so I realized, like, especially for content, this is what I realized, and this is something that I need to start implementing into my day. Can I do the same thing for 3 months straight? Can I do the same things for 3 months straight? The entire message on this channel now that I'm trying to push is the idea of focusing on the real things that move us forward. Focusing on the real things that move us forward, bro. No more running away. No more trying to avoid the pain. There's one thing in front of us, which is that pain that we are just trying to run away from. Whether you're overthinking, whether you're sitting here overthinking about discipline or whatever, like I was, about content, about the gym, and you're like, oh, I don't know what to do, I'm not going on, like you're just overthinking all day, or whether you are not seeing results in the gym right now. Either way, I wasn't seeing results in the gym. I wasn't seeing results in the gym for a long time. And I was changing my workout patterns, I was changing this, I was changing that, I was like all of this stuff, when I just have to follow the principles. The principles, this is what we need to follow. The principles are things in life which never change. For example, a principle is you and your girl, or if you don't have a girl yet, like myself right now, your future girl. The principle in that is love. But that's a principle. That's something that, like, you know what I'm trying to say? So for example, the principle in the gym is hating failure, it's progressive overload, it's etc. The principle in life, in a way, in success, is discipline. It's pushing past the discomfort. The principle in making videos is, yo, can you relate to me? Is there value? Are you getting value from what I say? Is there like a connection, a mutual benefit? You know what I'm trying to say? So there's always principles in everything. And what I need to be doing is I need to be following the principles. Instead of following the shiny object syndrome. And the moment we can trust and the moment we can respect the principles, that's when we will make the progress. When we can respect the process. My friend the other day, he was DMing me and he was just telling me, like, bro, like my motivation is sort of dying down. I'm getting less energetic. I feel like I want to avoid most of the work. And I told him straight up, I was in the gym and I told him straight up, I'm like, yeah, this is not like your energy going down. It's not your energy that's going down. This is called resistance. Resistance, because obviously when motivation dies down, it's just you versus you now. Are you going to be able to do the hard work regardless? And I told him, bro, we have to respect those people who ended up making it in life, because now you can realize how much work they actually had to put in. You can realize how much effort these guys actually had to put in. I was telling him, like, look at people like maybe Andrew Tate or someone or something, or Hamza or Iman Ghazi or many other people, like so many millionaires, or not even just money, but like people with nice physiques, people that run marathons, ultra marathons, Ironmans, you know, all these crazy things, right? In life, the idea of self-development, you can see that these people, although it seems like super shiny from the outside, these guys had to go through so many boring reps. So many boring reps. These guys had to push through boring and reps to get to where they are. Despite it being difficult or unmotivating or what, these guys had to dog it out. They had to push through grit. Through grit, bro. I think there were some scientific studies done that were shown that grit is one of the principles. It's one of the traits of most, or if all, successful people. Grit, the ability to do the work regardless of how you feel. You just push it out, bro. You push the reps. You keep rowing the boat. You keep driving. You put your foot on the gas. Grit. And now he saw a difference between those people who didn't end up making it. Those people who tried to become disciplined. Those people who tried to get in shape or go in the gym. Those people who tried to do all of that. And then they ended up quitting. those people end up quitting. Those people ended up quitting. Why? Because they did not respect the principles. They did not respect the process. They thought it would be sunshine and rainbows until they got hit with the dark reality, pain, discomfort. Now we can see why disciplined people are so respected. Now we can see why they stand out in public. Why they, for example, millionaires, they call the top 1%. There's a reason why they call it top 1%. Now, obviously, I gotta preface this, which is by saying that all of this is given and done by God, right? All of this is given and done like by God. God helps these people. God is the one who willed for these things to happen and take place. But God wants us to see us work hard. God wants us to push to our max capabilities. Like, for example, boys, I was making this video. The reason why I'm making this video right now, even though it's almost 2 p.m., is because I made another video earlier in the morning wearing the same hoodie in the same area. And in that video, bro, there was no passion. There was no passion. There was no energy. There was no like seriousness in that video. And I was genuinely pissed off. I was like, why? Why is there no passion in that video, bro? Even I wouldn't watch that video. That's why I decided to re-record this video. That's why I decided to come here and just talk about something I'm going through. This is something short I just want to share. I don't have anything much else to say. Except for the fact that we gotta push out the reps. We gotta push out the reps. Enough is enough. Enough trying to beat around the bush. This is the fork in the road. Whether we respect the process and we go towards the process, or we have to be completely honest with ourselves and admit and understand and just say, you know what? Fine. I can't respect the process enough. I'm just gonna not pursue this. I know in the world that we live in, everything is so lovey-dovey and so positive. I get that. That's good to some certain extent. But sometimes you gotta be honest and just say, bro, yo, success takes effort. And for me, I did not want to accept that for so long. For me, I want to sort of get the success handed down to me. I wanted someone to come and be like, yo, here's $10,000 a month. Not gonna happen. I wanted someone to come and say, here's a physique. Not gonna happen. I want someone to come and just change my character. Not gonna happen. If I want to be the best version of myself, if I want to live the lifestyle I want to live, like in Dubai, having a nice apartment, whatever, it's being close to God, having a beautiful wife, nice cars and stuff like that. Like if I want to live that lifestyle, if I want to be the guy who can provide for his parents, if I can be the guy who can finally sustain himself, one of my biggest goals right now is just to self-sustain myself, so that I don't have to go and ask my dad like, oh, father, can I have like $100 right now so that I can pay for my train ticket and like bro, you know how much it freaking pains me to see my dad working and I have to ask him like for freaking money, and also not to mention university fees, right? I'm a university student. University fees are quite expensive, right? Like, so at the end of the day, I'm gonna document all of that for you guys. I'm gonna document the entire process of my self-development journey. I'm gonna share tips or anything that I've learned, any processes that I'm going through, and I'm gonna just document the entire process of me becoming the best version of myself. The fitness, the physique, the habits, the nutrition, the mindset shifts that's happened to me, the pains, the uncomfortable mornings when you wake up and you don't feel like doing anything, the mornings where you wake up and you want to do everything. All of these things I want to document for you guys. And if you can relate with someone like me, then that's all that matters, all that matters to me is like, there's some other guy on the internet that kind of resonates with someone like me, that kind of shares a similar vision, similar goals of becoming the best version of themselves. I was always born privileged, bro. I was born privileged since I was born. Literally, I was born privileged into a privileged society. I moved to Canada when I was 8 years old, but even since moving here or living back home where I'm from, which is Bangladesh, I've always been privileged. And in Canada specifically, like that's when it took the privilege for granted. I'm not saying we're super rich or whatever, but I was especially privileged. My parents went through hell just for me to keep my freaking face smiling. And I don't know, it pains me to not use this privilege to living a better life. You know, it pains me to see me wasting my life, wasting my time, wasting my energy. I want to do something with my life. I want to become a better version of myself. And I want to achieve something, but I know that the achievements will only come as a byproduct of who I am, of my personal development, of how much I've achieved, of my skill sets, of how valuable I am. So yeah, guys, welcome to this channel, and I can't wait to grow with you guys. So if you're new, consider subscribing. If you want, you can follow my IG in the description down below. I will be using more IG in terms of putting more content out there. So if you guys use IG, my link is in the description down below. Other than that, boys, I'll see you guys on the next one. Stay safe, bro. Assalamu alaikum.